Welcome, everybody. I'm Jabby Kouay, joined by Jess KESSIE. Sweet and dressy. That's cool. Dressy.
I'm liking these.
So guys, thanks so much for joining us. We are watching Talking to Strangers from TheOdd1sOut, one of my favorite YouTube channels. Thanks so much for joining. I said that already. Now you got it twice. So please hit the subscribe button, bell icon, all notifications. Pretty please vote this up. Let YouTube know you're enjoying what you're watching. Why subscribe and upvote and subscribe to Odd1sOut and to Jess KESSIE's social media, both linked in the description below. You know where to find it. Here we go.
Let's pretend you get on a bus and it's super crowded. The only spot that's open is between two strangers. So you sit down between two people you never met and everyone is fine. Everyone's keeping to themselves, no one's making eye contact, it's perfect. Sure, your shoulders are touching, but that's just what happens. That's part of the bus-going experience, you poor person. But then at the very next stop, aisle seat guy gets off. So now you and window seat guy are sitting right next to each other. But since you're in the middle, you have to be the one to decide, do you move or not? I honestly don't know what the right thing to do in that situation is. I'm conflicted. Because if you move, it would be
holding on to
the other
him.
person, hey, you're disgusting. I can't stand having our shoulders touch any longer, and I'm glad to finally get away from you. Ugh. But on the other hand...
Hold on, what do? You're sitting next to the person, and then like the seat opens up. Do you shift?
I would fully move. I would probably, but I would be subtle.
Do you
about
do it
it
with like a...
No, I would probably, like, if I'm being honest, don't judge me for what I'm about to say,
We're
but I would,
already judging you
I
all
know
the
you are. I would probably fake a phone call and then, like, be like, oh, hello. Like, use it as an excuse.
Why do you need to do all that?
I don't know, because I don't want to make them feel bad. I would go through all of that to make sure they don't feel bad.
And I think you should go out of your way to be like, you start here, you're like, now we both have some more room. Isn't that nice?
That's also true.
You could just do that and own it, you know?
Yeah, I know, I could do that. What would you do?
Like on a plane the other day, something had happened where this like lady didn't have enough room or something like that. It was a cramped plane. I saw like the seat might open up. So I said, hey, is it cool if I like shift there so that she's got more room? You know? And I just put it out there so that she doesn't think I'm trying to get away from her.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh my God, thank you so much.
Yeah, because I mean,
Now
like,
let's
you're both
date.
thinking.
I'm just kidding. She had a boyfriend with her.
I was the window seat guy. I would want the middle seat guy to become the new aisle seat guy. I wouldn't see moving as rude. I would just want his gross, disgusting body as far away from me as possible. That's not rude. But on the other hand, maybe I'm overthinking everything, and most people don't even mind being this close to another human, and they aren't struggling socially, I don't know. Now imagine that same situation, but with urinals. If you're in the middle urinal, do you move halfway through to the other urinal? Because
This is a
I
rule.
would.
God damn.
People when you're sitting...
I was not expecting that.
No.
That was so gross. I'm surprised he was able to get that on YouTube. That's a rule. Like,
Really?
you just don't do that. Yeah, it's an unspoken rule. You don't go next to somebody.
Do you, like, hold it until you wait for it?
No. If it's a packed bathroom, you obviously do what you got to do. If you go into a bathroom and there's one guy at a urinal, you don't go to the one next to him if there's another one available.
Well, I mean, I feel like that. I kind of do that with everything, though. Like, even at the gym on treadmills, like, I try not to be next to someone else on the treadmill. Like, I really try to do that every other thing, and I will get like slightly aggravated if someone is on the one next to me when there's like a bunch of them, because I'm like, please don't try to talk to me.
Oh, yeah, no, if I'm at the gym and I see like a bunch of empty treadmills and there's one with a hot chick, I go right up next to her and then I take out my phone and I play the song I'm a Creep on speaker and I start.
And then I leave and switch my gym.
And then she starts laughing and then we get married and have babies. Okay.
Oh my God.
inches away from them. I always felt
It's like a running theme I can't get away from now.
No, I know. I've noticed it's come up a couple times.
when you're sitting 2 inches away from them, I always felt like I should say something like, hey, did you see the game last night? I didn't. I was too busy drawing cartoons. But I realized that this is a two-way street. I'm worried about not talking to someone, but they're not talking to me either. We both agreed that there's this unwritten contract between us that we're not even going to look at each other. It got me thinking about strangers and specifically how I treat them. And how I can make money off of them. I'm just kidding. That was a joke. For most of my life, I would go out of my way to avoid talking to people. I would stay in my lane, mind my own business, no eye contact. If everyone's using a urinal, I'd have to pee tomorrow. Yes, I'm lonely. But now that YouTube's the thing, I'm interacting with strangers more often than I've had to in my entire life. So I've been thinking a lot about strangers. And first of all, I think the word stranger is already an insulting label for someone just because you don't know their name. Oh, I don't know this person. They're a stranger. They're strange. I'm the normal one. They're the freaks. They probably murder people with an axe. That's always the go-to profession of a stranger, an axe murderer.
Axe-murderer.
But the people you see throughout your day are all humans with their own hopes and dreams. And
Yes.
some of them may hope to kill you, but you'll never know because you didn't ever take the time to get to know them.
Exactly.
So I think that the people you see throughout your daily life aren't strangers. They're potential friends. Except for the weird ones, obviously. Stay away from them. And yes, I'm telling you to judge people based on their appearance. They're the ones that chose to wear anime shirts in public, okay? So back to the bus scenario. I'm sitting...
Do you wear anime shirts in public?
I don't, but I will say, like, some of my guy friends do, and I'm like, oh, you guys are so sweet.
Why
like,
is that sweet?
They're just silly. They love their little anime shows.
Would you date a guy who wears anime shirts in public? Would that turn you off? Would you be like, that's a hard no, hard pass, goodbye, red tape?
This is a hard question to answer.
Because I exclusively have dated guys who wear anime shirts, all Sailor Moon.
Yeah, actually, it's my preference. I mean, I don't really know.
I've straight up asked a girl who was a guest on my channel, my favorite t-shirt of all time, Bane from Dark Knight Rises with his arms out, and then opposite of him is a little pony, arms out. And it looks like they're going to go hug each other.
That's pretty funny.
And it's like, it's just a very weird shirt.
That's epic.
And it's my favorite because it's so weird. And it's like me. I'm just odd. And it's like a combination of things that you wouldn't expect to go together. Like my ethnicity. It's just like odd, like you.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it just speaks to me. And so I was, I guessed, how would I describe her without it being offensive and odd? She's just a very attractive lady. And she gets her nails did every Friday night. That's the kind of girl we're talking about. I asked her, like, if a guy came up to you wearing this shirt, would you outright reject him? She goes, yeah, I wouldn't talk to that guy. That kind of sucks.
I'm just like, life philosophy wise, I'm very different than a lot of people I feel like in the city. But I personally have no problem like talking to anyone. Everyone has a story. I think that's how I've met the majority of my friends. In my friend group now, I went to a show by myself, like a music show, and then walked out with these strangers, and now I'm talking to them like 2 years later. So.
And that's how you end up on a YouTube channel.
Right next to this fellow human being. So far, there's not a single reason why I should dislike this person, but I don't know why, if you put him and me on a bus next to each other, I want him as far away from me as possible. Just stop touching my shoulder! So that was the last time I took the bus.
I like how he waddled out.
That's not the only place you meet strangers. One time I was at Home Depot and I was looking for jumper cables and I couldn't find them anywhere. And I don't know if I'm the only human that's like this, but I will try everything in my power to not talk to a sales associate. I guess it's because I know they get paid minimum wage and their life sucks and I just want to leave them alone and not make their job any harder than it has to be. But asking employees for help isn't even bothering them that much. In fact, I think it's part of their job. Like, what's the worst thing they're gonna say? Ugh, you don't know where one specific item is? Everyone else knows. Did you even look? They're in the jumper cable aisle, idiot. No one's gonna think that. So feeling desperate, I mustered up what little courage I had and swaggered up to someone wearing an orange vest and said, excuse me, do you know where the jumper cables are? I don't work here. Oh, you don't work here? And then he walked away. And then he waddled away, waddle. And then the very next day, bum. So I think the logical thing to do in that situation would have been to find someone who does work there. But I left the store because I didn't want to run into that same guy again. Because I didn't want people to think that I stole something.
Oh God, the awkwardness.
I resonate with that so hard. It feels illegal to leave a store without buying something.
It does feel that way.
It just feels so wrong for some reason.
It does. But the thing of not wanting to run into the guy again, like I've had that situation where I said goodbye to somebody and I realized that they were going to go the same direction as me. And so I just hung back. I don't want to say goodbye again.
I've done that.
I don't want to have a long goodbye. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, look at us. We're on the same. No, just no. And yeah, I've avoided people at the store. I'm like, oh, God dang it. Like, I stared at a girl too long. So I went to the opposite side of the store. And anytime she was walking by, I'm like, I don't want her to think I'm following her now.
Yeah.
It's just like, she was cute and I looked too long and it was creepy and I realized it was creepy and I'm in my head about it, so I'm just like awkward. I'm trying to get away from her now, but she keeps following me everywhere I go and I don't realize that she's trying to talk to me.
Was she?
No. That's just a story.
There it is.
So... oh, yeah. And by the way, if you wear an orange vest to Home Depot, just expect people to ask you for help.
Exactly.
Same goes for people who wear red shirts at Target.
Yes.
Also
You'd
true.
think I'd learn from my mistakes, but no, I have a bunch more examples. When my book came out, my publisher said that it was going to be carried at Barnes & Noble, and I thought that was super duper cool and wanted to see my book in the wild. Not to buy or anything, just to have a look at. So I took my friend Adam from Something Else YT, and we went to the local Barnes & Noble and started our search. We looked in the humor section, didn't find it. Then we checked the new release section. It wasn't there either. Then we looked at the best-selling section and the religious section, but we couldn't find the book anywhere. So either the publisher lied or they had already sold out. But just to be sure, I asked one of the workers, hey, do you guys have a book by TheOdd1sOut? He kind of looks like this. And the worker typed something out on his computer and said, oh yeah, we got those in the back. We just haven't put them out yet. So then he went to the back room, brought out a copy and handed it to me saying, here you go, kid. And I thought, well, frick. I can't just hand it back to the guy and say, oh no, that's okay. I didn't want to buy it. I just wanted to have a look at it. Do you know how inconvenient that would be?
Oh, no.
The only less awkward option I could
That's why as soon as I feel like I'm going to inconvenience someone for something I just want to look at, I'm like, you know, it's cool.
Yep.
I try to stop them as fast as possible because I'm like, I never know if I'm going to commit to the purchase.
Fully understand that. That or I will literally buy it and then this has happened a lot at Target where I'll be like, oh, thank you. And I'll buy it and then I'll go to a different Target and return it.
Why don't you just go to that Target and return it?
Because I don't know.
You can literally just walk to the return aisle.
But then they're going to see me if they're a worker.
Okay, here's what you do. So you have the item, right? And you go to the checkout. Just tell them it's go backs. That's literally what it's called is go backs. Because that you just don't want it. Or you just tell them I don't want this. You take it to checkout. You don't have to actually commit to purchase.
That's true.
That person's never going to see it.
That's actually very true.
You know, there's
right.
huge chasm.
Saving me a second trip to Target right now.
And shaving you.
And
was to buy my own book. And you know what? I'd get a couple cents back from this purchase, so it wouldn't have been a total loss. But Adam, being the more sensible one, said,
dude, this is ridiculous. You have to come clean.
So then he went to the worker and said,
so he actually wrote this book. He just wanted to get a look at it in the wild.
And the worker said, oh, that's so cool. Do you want to sign our copies? And then I thought, well, hold on. You're not even going to ask me for my ID? How do you know I actually wrote this book and I'm not some guy trying to deface someone else's? And then the guy gave me a whole stack of my books and I signed them all. Last story before I go. I was in the hallway of a building and me and this potential friend crossed paths. He said, hello, and I was going to respond with, hello, and how's it going? But I combined the two and ended up saying, how? And then I jumped out a window and fell to my death. I can't rationalize that behavior. Maybe I spend too much time on the computer and I'm not used to looking at real people's faces, but I'm trying to change. Don't get me wrong, going to conventions and meeting fans has helped me a lot with talking to people. Granted, those conversations are usually one-sided and a real stranger won't already know who I am, but they've still helped me. Now, you might be expecting me to give you advice on overcoming social anxiety, but if you watch this video, you know I'm not the most qualified to give that advice, but I'll try my best. I know it's hard to feel confident and I'm still working on it, but you have to understand that we're all people and we all have things that we're struggling with. And in reality, we're not all watching or caring about every little thing that other people do. We're all too busy worrying about what other people think of us. So with enough practice and believing in yourself, you can show the world your true colors and I think you'll find that people are a lot nicer than you think. So if you're the middle seat guy on the bus and you have to decide whether or not to move, do whatever you want. No one cares. Just stop touching my shoulders. Hey, everyone.
That was good.
I appreciated that.
I did too. Because that's so true. And I feel like I've had a couple conversations where people are like, why are you so friendly to everyone? Why do you actually engage in conversations? You don't owe anyone anything. And I'm like, no, I don't. I also frankly don't owe you an explanation on why I do, but I'm going to give it to you because I want to, because you're a person and I appreciate genuine human connection. And there's nothing wrong with that. And passing interactions are quite lovely.
I like that. I think that we have grown more and more antisocial. I was listening to Lou Later this morning. Lou Later, if you don't know what the heck I'm talking about, Lou Hilsentegger from Unbox Therapy, the YouTube channel. He's got a podcast channel called youtube.com/Lou Later. And one of the things he said was there was an article that came out that was talking about how to improve your well-being and happiness and all that stuff. The primary advice in there was talk to people.
Yes.
And he was shocked. He was like, wait, isn't that just understood?
Don't we just expect that?
Yeah, don't we just know? Duh. But it's no, but we have grown more and more antisocial and into our own little pocket. Instagram, Twitter, and I guess YouTube. Those are the premier places to go, right? Facebook is no longer, well, it's Meta now, but it's no longer what it was.
Yeah.
And you can't dialogue with people like you used to.
Yeah.
Facebook, sadly, was actually a good way to interact interact with people. Now Instagram is just comments, and it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't believe I'm defending that. All I'm saying is with the internet and everything like that, it's cool. It's a double-edged sword, though, because we are less social than we used to be. In Spain, for instance, okay, I don't speak Spanish. I was trying to find a place to eat, and I was looking for some stupid reason, I was looking for Japanese food in Spain. It's a thing. It's there.
Why
okay?
would you do that?
Because it's there, and I wanted something familiar. So,
You're in Spain.
all right,
Continue.
I've been eating Spanish food. It was fine. So I wanted Japanese food. So there's 2 Japanese restaurants. I was in front of one of them, and I wasn't sure because I just wasn't sure. And so this lady comes out, and I was like, "Hey, is the food here good?" And then she ran. I'm like, oh, I understand that I didn't speak Spanish to you, but like, what did you think I said that warranted that kind of response where you don't even say, "I'm sorry, I don't English"?
Yeah.
You know, it's just odd to me. Odd one out. There's this saying of just shoot your shot. You never know if a girl's gonna say yes or no unless you actually ask. And I was at the gym, the same one I met you at, actually. I was at the gym and I saw this girl and I was like, okay, I don't want to be weird, so I need to say something now. And so it's not odd that I'm just kind of looking her way for a few minutes. I walked up. I forgot what I said exactly. Like, hey, how are you? And she looked up at me and she was like, mm-mm. And then she went back to what she was doing, and I walked out of the gym laughing that she didn't even have the courtesy to say, "I'm sorry, I'm taken, or I got a boyfriend, or I'm just trying to work out. This is not, no, thank you, not interested." Like, nothing. No, nothing. Not even words came out of her face. It was just the expression of no.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, specifically at the gym, that kind of is also the unspoken rule. Like,
Where are you supposed to meet people these days?
Not the gym. Girlies are just trying to work out.
I think it just depends. I think that it's entirely possible you might meet someone like JESS KESSIE at the gym, and she'll be cool.
It's not common for people to respond at the gym, though. So.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I've made friends at the gym.
Yeah.
I've gone out with girls from the gym. It's just not often. It is very difficult, but it's like, that's the only place I go. I make videos on YouTube, and then I go to the gym, and I come back to making videos on YouTube.
That's true. Yeah, you don't have like a third space. Well, I guess the gym is kind of your third space. Do you know what a third space is?
I hope you tell me right now. I
Yes,
don't know
okay.
what you're talking about.
So your first place is the place that you sleep. It's your home. Your second place is your workspace. But then there's a whole thing about like when we talk about like the walkability of like cities and stuff like that. It's called the third space.
Okay.
And a third space would be like your public library or coffee shops or like extracurricular activities, and that allows you to like have connection with people outside of work or home, and it's interest based. So it's actually more of a like genuine bond. So that's what third spaces are, and what you need is a third space. Everyone should have a third space.
Yeah. That's the worst place to meet people.
Yeah, and it's supposed to ground you.
It's the gym. The gym, I'm saying, is the worst place to meet people sometimes.
Yes.
But it should be not. It should be the best place because you both have the same interests. You both want to be. So I realize I need to go take a martial arts class again.
Cool, yeah, do it.
Or another ballet class.
That's also a good place to meet people.
Like that. Anyway, this was fun. I really enjoyed the animation style, as always, and the insightfulness, the candidness. I enjoyed the transparency and the humor.
I liked the message of it.
Talk to people. And also, don't wear an orange jacket at Home Depot. You guys, thanks so much. I'm Jabby Kawai. This is
JESS KESSIE.
Peace out.